So here I am. I'm doing my creative thing. I'm in my creative mental space. And I'm writing and, taking notes. And then I get a doo-doo on my phone. Message reads, the Supreme Court overturns Roe versus Wade. First of all, I don't remember signing up for notifications for any news. This is hilarious to me because the news still makes it to me. I'm not sure why. That's why I don't like the news. That's why I hate it, because I intentionally don't go looking for the news and it still makes its way to me. Anyway, so, and I can't help but think that is wow. They really went into a room and sat down and made decisions on what we can and cannot do with our bodies as women, first of all. Now, I know a lot of people, hear me out, some people, the ones that are like pro-life, I completely understand. Let me tell you how much I understand why people that believe in pro-life. Okay, first of all, the human vessel, it is magnificent. It is the most intricate and intelligent organism that I have ever witnessed, seen, or experienced. Okay, we're talking about a ready-made organism that all you have to do to it is give it nourishment and water, and it will grow and it will function the way it's supposed to, and everything. That includes creating more organisms inside of it for the ones that are able to do so. Okay? And that process has its own unique thing, its own, it's a very unique process, and it allows us to continue to create the human race. Okay, it keeps us populated so we don't go extinct. It is a natural process to be impregnated, okay, and to contribute again to the growth of the population. I completely get all that. And I also get the idea that it is another life form. It really is another life form, okay? Now, with all of that said, I would also like to say that I get people who are pro-abortion or pro-choice, because that life form, there's more than one type of life form here. We kill plants, we kill trees, we kill cattle, chicken, all of those things are legal, okay? But you cannot stop the growth of life within your body. That's kind of weird. Not completely nuts. It's not completely nuts. Because again, it is a natural process. And you actually have to do something in order to be impregnated. So there is an ability to not impregnate. You can do that. Okay? Now, I don't know all of the terms of this thing, again, because I don't care enough to look into things like this, because it's the news, I mean, I know it's law and things of that sort, but hear me out. When you have a body, right? And there is, for some people, a risk of impregnation because a lot of people don't want to bring offspring into this life for good reason. First of all, when you get here, there's a lot of suffering that happens. There's a lot of involuntary suffering that happens because we are in a society that, like what just happened with the Supreme Court being able to make a judgment on an individual's body, there are limitations and restrictions to being here when we are supposed to be able to have full control of our own vessels as separate sovereign entities, okay? So I completely understand why people wouldn't want to bring offspring into this environment. Secondly, people do make mistakes. Okay? I was talking to someone yesterday. Actually, I'm not going to say who, but I was talking to someone and they made a good point. They said that, you can, like I said earlier, you can not get pregnant. Like, you actually have to do something to get pregnant. I completely get that. But we're acting like we don't make mistakes and we don't know what a mistake is. A mistake is an action that is done with lack of clarity, lack of information, and the lack of knowledge of knowing the full ramifications of the consequences of that action. So it's an ignorance, okay? And you can do things out of ignorance that would lead you in a direction that is going to be very detrimental to you and the people around you. And for a lot of people, having offspring is a mistake for them because they can't properly raise them. They don't know, they don't have the resources to do so. And just a lot of other things, okay? And that in turn puts the responsibility of that particular offspring on other people who were not anticipating that responsibility. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the act of aborting allows for an option to correct a mistake that has been made between two people, okay? Another thing, again, I don't know everything that's included. I personally keep my sexual organs to myself. And I've never had to have an abortion or anything. So I'm just speaking from being an organism that has the sexual organs to actually bring forth these offspring that we now cannot abort, okay? There are situations in which offspring are created and they were not asked for. In cases of rape, molestation, all of these things, okay? I'm hoping that whatever ruling they made, it accounts for such a thing, because what a traumatizing life would it be to have a child, offspring, that you did not want and now have to dedicate your life to, and just okay, taking care of a child is more than just giving it food and water. Like, you have to create an emotional space for this child. You have to, teach it things, and you have to be in a healthy state in order for it to be in a healthy state. So if the place from which the child was developed is from an unhealthy, unwanted state, You're setting that offspring up, although you think you're doing it a service by allowing it to come through with stopping abortion. You're doing it a disservice by making that child, possibly making that child's life a living hell because of the situations and circumstances by which it was birthed. So you think you're doing a good thing. Meanwhile, this child is not getting as much out of life as it could be because it came through a vessel that didn't even want it in the first place. Okay? Another thing. You're making people birth children that they don't want to have. Okay? You're making them put their resources into this. And this was a choice that the courts made. My question is, why then are not the courts being held responsible for making sure that these offspring that the people didn't want, they wanted to abort? Let's be real. A lot of people have kids that they don't want. And that's one of the reasons why they go to have an abortion in the first place, okay? The courts should be held responsible for financially providing for these offspring that the original organism didn't want in the first place. That is my stance. There's nothing you can say to make me change my mind about that. Because if the option were there to have an abortion, the abortion would have happened. But because you're taking that choice away, since you are making it your responsibility, you're making it your charge, you're in control of deciding whether or not a person can or cannot have a child, or should or should not allow it to come through here. You should also step up and make sure that that child is going to live a good life. Because what is the point in making a person stay in this earth or come to this earth and you're not going to ensure that it has a good life? That doesn't make any sense. Okay? But anyway, so first of all, I hate that I got the notification because I didn't even really want to hear about it. But since I got the notification involuntarily, I have the right to say what I want to say about it. Lord have mercy. So yeah, I hate this. I hate the news. I hate that people have brought it upon themselves to be able to take charge of other people's lives. I fucking hate that. That's ridiculous. That's the most absurd thing I've ever heard in my life. How are you, someone I don't even know? I don't know you, never met you, but you can tell me what I can and can't do with this vessel that I'm taking care of, that I'm protecting, that I'm growing, and you know, it's mine. It's my body. And I think that all the people that are pro-abortion, y'all need to get y'all asses together and create a fund and start investing in the fund for people who wanted an abortion, so that you can help support them bring up that child. Since you care so much about life and you pro-life, you pro-life, you need to be about being pro-life when they get here. And you need to support them and ensure that they have a great life since you pro-life. I hate the news. Some of this or none of this may be true. Doesn't even matter. I don't care. I'm just here to let you know how much I flip and hate the news. Have a nice day.